Hello, hello, hello. It is me. I am back. The first Creator Hangout for 2023. Normally I do this and we shell a whole bunch of Kickstarters. We talk about all their Kickstarters and how we're going to get them all funded. But today, and if you haven't been paying attention to me, I'm going to talk about recent developments, and that is my contract with Scout. I have a book coming out with Scout called Granite State Punk. We're going to talk about that. But I've also brought all the other guys who are up for solicit this month, friends of mine who I've known in the industry who are doing stuff. We're going to talk about their books as well. We're going to give you all that, give their diamond code. So when you go to the comic shop tomorrow, that you can say, hey, I need to order this book. I need to order that book. And they're going to tell you why, and it's going to be awesome. So be ready for that. Let me get our first person right in here. So first, we are going to get my boy Jared in. How are you, Jared? How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. It has been a long week, but tomorrow is my first day off from my day job. So in about 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm pretty psyched to sleep.
Nice. And we you and I just talked like a couple weeks ago, right? We did a whole long comics level up. If you guys want to look at that at YouTube, we talked about his whole career, all sorts of the cool stuff, including this book. So welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited. I see these. I jump in. Hey, Danny, what's up, Doc? I see these from like time to time and kind of jump in, but I'm always a lurker. Like I'm never a commenter, which everybody on YouTube hates.
So next up, we're gonna get Michael. Michael, how are you? We just met. I did a whole post. So Michael, I did a whole post of all the people who were having number ones who I knew, and Michael was like, "What about me?" We're Twitter friends, and then we got his book. Say, how you doing, Michael? Oh, he can't. He was talking earlier. What happened, Michael? Hello? I believe he's here. You figure out your stuff. I'm going to invite other people in, Michael, okay? Can you hear me? No, you can't hear me. Maybe come back and come back in. Okay. All right. Next up, we got Mario. And he's got the craziest background. I'm very concerned. I see the one that connects to his book, but the other are just random heads. And I think the Terminator.
Oh, Ghost Rider. Yeah.
That's Ghost Rider. Okay. Well, all right. Well, Ghost Rider and Arnold both have the same thing up. Oh, there you go. Some shout out to Jared already. Next up, welcome, Mario. How are you?
Yeah, doing well. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Good. Let's get some other people in here. My boy Caleb. Caleb's been on the show before. We're not going to be able to talk about giraffes, which makes me sad because we're going to have to talk about unicorns. But I love giraffes.
Sorry, it's all the unicorns this time. The giraffe days have come and gone. I fulfilled your wish. And
I'm still waiting for my pledge level. You haven't fulfilled it yet.
I know. Yeah, that's true.
Soon though. Soon.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah,
I feel like one of the cool kids.
And the guy with the coolest haircut here. Look at that. Jason, how are you, man?
And the coolest mug.
Oh, all right. I got just a Marvel mug, but it does have rum and Coke in it. So
yeah, that's cool. Mine has beer in it.
I should have brought my Scout one. I have a Scout one. Darn it. See, I messed up. See, Andrea, that's why Andrea's here. He's here to yell at me that I didn't bring the Scout mug. Constant branding.
Hey, guys.
How are you, Andrea?
I'm doing well. Very well. Marquesian, it's good to see you since Dragon Con. I was telling the guys.
That's right. Yeah.
It was really, really wonderful to meet you there.
It's great to meet you too. I'm glad I came up there and we had a little conversation. Got a little photo. It's fun.
Well, I'm always carrying your book on the table, so it's cool. It was cool to get you plugging it for me for social media.
Cool. Yeah, and a lot of people came down to my buddy's table. I wasn't there officially, but I was selling books, so people came down because you sent them. So that was really cool.
Yeah, no problem. No problem at all.
He was expecting a horn mug, which I think is a valid.
Well, yeah.
Well, I have those. I do have drinking.
They do exist, right?
We made them for By the Horns, actually.
That's very cool.
Yeah. They sold out pretty quick, but I still have 2 of them.
Nice.
But I just went with the Slayer because I like this one.
That's Taskmaster.
So tonight I have people at various levels. So a lot of the books coming out are new number ones that are going to appear in your in March, from beginning March to the end of March. But a few of us are coming towards the end. Like I think Mario and Marquita, both you guys, this is the end of the next arcs for you guys in March, right? In the current previews.
Yes, that's correct.
Actually, By the Horns, Dark Earth is going to be 12 issues. So we take a little break.
Wow.
Okay.
6 issues are out now. And so we took a little break to build up some more. And now issue 7 is going to be the second part of Dark Earth, 7 through 12. So
Okay.
we're excited to be back on the stands with it.
Yeah. Very cool.
You're like I think I was talking to somebody recently. You're the only pretty much ongoing series currently at Scout that's ongoing. Besides the Shepherd, Shepherd's is short arcs, but you're you're hitting those higher numbers, those big numbers. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, we have it planned for at least 40 to 50 issues.
Wow.
So, and actually, pretty soon will be the longest running Scout series ever.
Now,
'Cause I
what
think,
number do you
there's-
need to get to?
I believe there's one that is 18 issues.
Yeah, that's Solar Flare.
Yeah.
Flare?
So we'll pass that this year.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy to think about.
And we've
Because
got
you don't see a lot of
Alonzo.
indie books, go that long.
Hello.
Alonzo, Michael left. He's missing,
He did. Oh,
but he'll come back, I think. Oh wait,
okay,
no,
I'll wait.
I got him. Hold on. Hey,
Hey.
Michael, you good now?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
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 Awesome.
I just have to say
Can
this,
you-
Alonzo, I'm a big fan of your artwork. I'm very familiar with Miracle Kingdom,
Mhm.
but also I'm your editor for Sissy as well. And I think
Yes, I heard.
you've done a spectacular job with both series. You really are a very talented artist.
Thanks, Andrew.
Just stating the facts, just the facts.
Well,
So we are gonna
I'm not doing the flats, but I'm trying to guide my friend with the colors, but well, he's going a bit slow.
All right, so we're going to start. We're going to go through everybody. We're going to let everybody pitch. We're going to talk about your books. Guys, if you're watching this and you want a book, write it down. Write the diamond code down if you can. You can, again, Scout books are available through Scout and Lunar, through Scout Direct, actually. Diamond, Lunar, you can get all of them. So make sure you give them the right codes today. But we're going to start with Jared, and we're going to hear about this amazing title called All the Devils Are Here. So do you want to tell us a little bit about it, brother?
Yeah, All the Devils Are Here is a 44-page one-shot. It's a horror. It's a little bit of horror. It's a little action, but it's essentially a story about an elderly man with dementia is possessed by a demon, and an exorcist who obviously is there to take the demon out of him, has to enter his mind in order to do so. And so we see these. It's really a journey through the human mind as we try and figure out why this man has been possessed by a demon, and we navigate these weird memories that he has that are fused with this demon's memories. And it's a really, really great book. We did it on Kickstarter. I did it with Matt Harding, who is my co-creator and the artist. Colors were by Warnia Sahadewa, and we had letters by Melanie Ujimori, and it was edited by Hernan Guarderas and Sarah Harding. The book is super, super personal to me. My grandfather, it's based a lot in my grandfather's last couple years of his life. He suffered really heavily with dementia. I always tell everybody that the book is, at its heart, the first love story that I've ever written. And I hope it's a 44-page one shot, man. Like it's a pretty low risk. And so I hope people, if you've never heard of my writing before, if you have no idea who I am, which is totally cool, I really hope this is the book people take a chance on, to kind of get an idea of the stories that I like to tell, with the characters I kind of like to tell, as well with stylistically how I handle big, heavy concepts like that. Oh, thank you, Danny. Danny is a very supportive person who has been very great to me since my first book, Dryfoot. But yeah, I'm very, very, very proud of that book. Of All the Devils Are Here.
Awesome.
Yeah. Can you? I know people, just in case I haven't heard of you, can you kind of go through your like catalog of the companies you work for and a couple of titles?
Yeah. So I've been in comics professionally for like 3 years. I was a winner of the 2019 Mad Cave Studios talent search that led to my first miniseries, Dryfoot. After Dryfoot, I went to Kickstarter and I did my first Kickstarter book, The Twin Blades, and I did All the Devils Are Here in the same year. After that, this year I released my second miniseries, Crash and Troy, which was pretty successful, and I'm really grateful for that. We also did another Kickstarter for a new Twin Blades installment. I was also a member of the DC Comics Milestone Initiative, and I did that as well. But yeah, All the Devils Are Here is the first Kickstarter book I've done that got picked up by a publisher, and I'm really excited to see how it does in the direct market versus how it is my most successful Kickstarter to date. So I'm really excited to see how it does in the direct market as well.
Yeah, and let me show some of the covers. Sorry, the Diamond website's a little slow right now, so we're going to go to Luna. So this is cover A, right?
Yes, that is our first cover. It features our main character, J.C.E. Garcia, and our main villain, Corson, the King of West Hell.
And then this is cover B. This is if the store gets 10 copies of some locks, and they can order as many as they want of this, right?
Yeah, if you're a comic shop, you should order 10 of cover A and get as many of these as you can. I love this cover. Matt Harding, who is the co-creator and the artist on the book, he has like become one of my best friends. He's the ridiculously talented artist and writer and everything. Matt's good at everything. It's kind of unfair, actually. It's cruel that he's that good at everything. But yeah, if you're a comic shop, I really hope to see a lot of these out in the wild as well. So because it's a beautiful cover. It's great. I love it a lot.
I love Matt Harding. He did a cover for us for By the Horns, and that came out.
Yes,
amazing.
he did.
So.
I have the cover. I buy everything Matt does.
Nice.
If you're trying to get me to buy a comic, get a Matt Harding cover, because that's the easiest way. I saw that and I was like, done.
Fantastic, Matt Harding. Please hire me up. I keep trying to get Jared to back my Kickstarters, and
I back so many of your Kickstarters.
You have. You're like, don't call me out. That's not true at all.
Yeah, I back so many Kickstarters. My wife is about to take away my debit card. Like, she's like, no. Like, they keep showing up at the door, and she's like, you have to stop. Christmas came around, and she was like, I don't want to see a Kickstarter book on the doorstep, and you have to buy gifts for your family. And I was like, I guess,
But yeah, that's the Diamond Code. You got those two covers. Make sure you order it. Again, the 10 copies is great. And what's cool about Scout, the way they do things, is once you order 10, it's an unlock. So you can order as many of that Matt Harding as you want. You just got to order 10 of the regular. So it's really, really cool. Very, very affordable. I like that. So next up, I'm going to talk to Michael and Alonzo, because Alonzo, I understand that you are on a time crunch because you're flying. Where are you flying to?
Yeah. I'm currently visiting my brother on Norway.
Okay.
And the cab is picking us in about an hour. So.
Man, I love Norway.
Yeah, it's
my
beautiful.
favorite place I've ever
it's a
been.
bit cold for me. I'm from Peru, so.
Oh yeah, I grew up in the cold, so it doesn't bother me at all. In fact, it's cold here. I grilled right before I came out here. It's like in the 30s.
No, wait, hold on. You're going to get your second, Alonzo. The last time we talked to you in effing Hawaii, what are you talking about? You know anything about the cold? What are you talking about?
I grew up in central New York, in Syracuse. So,
Huh.
and my mom grew up in Buffalo. Which
What
I know
are you
guys
running
probably
from?
heard
Because
in
you're in Chicago now. Like, what is going on?
No, I mean, my wife is a structural engineer, and so they have an office out in Hawaii, and so we went out there so she could do work for a couple of years, and then she got offered a bigger position here. She's running the office downtown, so that's why we came back. But we always knew we'd come back to Chicago. But Norway is we went to Lofoten Islands, which are absolutely amazing. So it's our favorite place we've ever been to.
All right. All right. So, Michael, are you good? Can you talk? I know that you're muted right now.
Can you guys see me though?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You see you. You're
no.
good.
I can't see myself, so I thought I was having camera.
You look great.
You
Okay,
you
great.
look
Thank you.
amazing. Do you want to tell us,
Can you-
since you're the writer, do you want to tell us about this beautiful book? Oh, you got the Scout shirt. There you go.
Represent.
This is a Granite State Punk shirt, so it's
Okay.
close enough. But yeah,
The crew. So yeah, this is my first comic. It's my debut. So it's been an adventure getting into this style and format of writing. And it's called Miracle Kingdom. And Andrea, should I give the spoiler-free version, or should I go with a little spoilers? What do you think?
I think you can do what you want. It's your book. I mean, it's, you know.
Okay. Well,
that's
okay.
right. Don't listen to Andrea. Like, do you?
Let's do some spoilers then. All right. So, Miracle Kingdom is a story of a forensic accountant who works in heaven, and his job is to audit people's prayers and seek out fraudulent miracles. And he comes across a televangelist on Earth that has all these suspicious healing powers. So he goes down to check it out and investigates. And then the more he investigates, the more anomalies he uncovers. So ultimately, it's a story of perhaps heaven isn't such an immaculate workplace after all. And yeah, so that's the sort of the general pitch. And Alonso is a fantastic artist and has brought this story to life. And I'm thrilled to actually have a chance to bring it to the public through Scout. So thanks for having me on, and love to talk more about it.
Yeah. So how's it been to work on this book, Alonso? How's it been? Michael's a first-time creator. Do you have any credits prior to this?
Let's see. No, the story's all his.
Right.
But he sent me the script. I read it through, and I was like, okay, I like this. I really thought that it was something new, something I've never, like, I had never worked on a story that was like that, like angels being like office people, and the way he handled the mystery. I thought it was pretty great, and I was really glad to be part of it.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
I came across Alonso's work on, I think, on one of your channels and one of your websites. But yeah, this is sort of, I don't know, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just got this style that reminded me of like an old EC comic, you know, that sort of just that there's a lot of emotion in the face and the eyes, and he's just got this great craft for catching expressions and acting.
Right.
So that's what drew me to his style, and it's been a great collaboration.
Nice.
Thanks, man.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Alonso, what else have you worked on?
Okay, let's see. I've worked for that publishing house. It's called Critical Entertainment.
Okay.
I've worked on several projects for them. That's Planetary Expansion, and I worked on a book about the Nicolas Cage movie a couple years ago. Yeah.
Which movie?
Called, Prisoners of the Ghostland.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a million of them, or is it just, yes.
Yeah, I know that thing like came like right after the pandemic started. So
Right.
but yeah, that was good. Then I'm working currently on CC. I just finished the first book. I think it's like 6 issues long.
Okay.
Like, those are like long issues, like 30 something pages long.
And that's also coming out through Scout.
Yes.
Is that a pair
but
between you guys or a different writer?
it's a different writer.
Okay.
It's Charles Chester.
Okay.
And
Great.
I'm also working on a webtoon series, a personal one. I'm like doing the writing too. But it's not yet on originals. I'm in talks with the editors, but it's getting there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So
Great.
to sum up, Miracle Kingdom, brand new book, brand new writer. This is debut. So if you want to get the writer's first appearance as well as all the characters in here's first appearance, Miracle Kingdom. Here is the diamond code right here. Get it, order it. There's going to be all sorts of cool stuff with it. Anything else you guys want to say before we move on to the next guy?
Just thrilled to have people discover this story, and it was a lot of fun creating. And look forward to collaborating more with Alonzo and talking more with fellow creative scout talent. You guys are awesome. Thanks.
Thanks. Alonzo, if you need to take off at any minute because of the cab thing, don't be afraid to just leave, because we're going to be talking, okay?
Cool, guys. Well,
Same thing with Jared. He's
nice to
hungry.
meet you. Bye. Bye, Andrea.
That's a great cover. Kevin Hodges likes the cover. So
Nice.
So next up, all right, let's continue with the number ones, okay? And then we'll get to you old timers here.
You'd farts.
Y'all farts. And I include you in that, Mr. Shepard. Though you got a number one, you better round the block a little bit, all right? So we're going to go next to Caleb, and we're going to talk about his book. Caleb, you and I are, I would say, friends, like real friends.
Sure.
Like Jared and I are close to friends, like we're Facebook friends, but Caleb will message me randomly about stuff. That means he cares about me, or at least values my opinion for whatever reason. So I am so stoked about this, man. I am so stoked about this this cool thing. So let's show the cover because it's different than what you'll see on previews, and Caleb wants to show you it. Caleb, tell us about this book, man.
Okay, so this is, as far as I know, the only book about unicorns that Scout's ever done, actually.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
This is a book called Unicorn Vampire Hunter, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's about a unicorn who hunts vampires with his horn. And it's a fairy tale about a little girl and a magical unicorn and a magical wizard and how they all become a found family. But I mean, really all you need to know is unicorn kills vampires with his horn, and there's magical puppies that never grow old. So,
and I'm looking at this. I was not aware of that. This is a nonstop book.
It's a nonstop book. Yeah. We went back and forth on it, and decided to go that route. We've got in fact, I'm in the middle of shipping out the Kickstarter editions of issues 4 and 5. So the whole first story arc is complete. And so we decided to just go with the nonstop. It's I don't know. I mean, Scout's the only place, to my knowledge, is doing the nonstop thing. It's interesting. People are definitely confused by it, but
why don't you explain that, Caleb, just for the viewers? I know what it is because I'm a Scout creator, but explain it to everyone else what nonstop means.
Okay, I might be the least qualified person on this call to talk about it, but I will attempt to explain.
And Gray is here, so he will help you if you're failing on the nonstop visit.
Sure. So, basically you're gonna get the first issue in your comic book shop, and then that's it until the trade comes out. So it's sort of like they used to call it, I think it used to be called the binge model, and now it's called nonstop. So issue 1's going to come out like a collector's item. And for anyone who's like been following me for a long time and likes to collect all the covers, this is yet another cover. It'll be just issue 1 and then the trade, which will come out sometime later this year, near the end of the year, probably. I don't know. I'm sure they haven't set the date yet for the trade paperback. But yeah, did I get it right, Andrea? Did I explain it correctly?
Yeah, you did, actually. You did a good job.
All right.
Yeah. So this is exciting. I'm a huge fan. Caleb and I have gone through the Kickstarter scene together, and it's really, I was so excited that I'm in the March previews with Caleb. That means a lot to me because we've kind of gone the same path directory. So I'm super happy. Danny has a question though. Is this like a middle grade reader book or more adult content?
Oh, that's a really good question. So I think it's sort of marketed as a young adult book, but I like to think that it is kind of hits a tone that's like Star Wars, like the animated shows for Star Wars, like The Bad Batch, which is like something that is like obviously targeted toward kids, but is also like something that grown men like you and me really enjoy. And so the target audience is young adult. It's not a middle. I wouldn't call it a middle readers. I would call it a young adult. But it deals with like mature themes. I wouldn't say it has mature content, but it definitely deals with mature themes. I mean,
There's stabbing in it.
There's stabbing, and also like as the series goes on, there's like serious like dad issues that get dealt with, and like themes of like resentment and like low-key abuse and things like that like I don't want to like say like your kids can definitely read it, but it's like it deals with heavy topics. Like it doesn't go easy on the emotional stuff. It's very character focused book.
I feel that all the unicorn books and Scouts have daddy issues. So I think that that's something that definitely is a unicorn specific thing. I've never watched My Little Pony, but maybe if I watch more of it, I would understand.
Well, it's a great concept. I love that. The unicorn
Thank
horn
you.
for stabbing vampires, you know, a mystical creature. It makes sense that it can vanquish a vampire with that horn. So really, really good idea.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And to answer Danny's question to who you can suggest it to, the biggest fans of my book that I always get feedback from are 8-year-old girls. So they're super into it, but I really believe that it's a book that like everyone can enjoy and that adults can enjoy and stuff. I mean, like I said, you know, when I was watching the latest episode of The Bad Batch on Disney Plus, I started crying. But it's a show for children, so you know, I mean, like that's kind of the vibe I'm trying to go for.
So let's make sure we get it ordered. It's right here.
And thank you, by the way, to how do you say your name, man? I don't want to say it wrong.
Marcusson.
Marcusson.
Yep.
Like that's it means a lot coming from you, because I was like when I started when I you know when we set the date for this, I knew that I was going to be on the shelf with your book, and you're like the unicorn book at Scout, and it's like and it's a great book, so it's very intimidating. So I'm like, thanks for the
you don't have to
kind
be
words.
I'm sure you're going to do fine. It looks like a great series, so I'm excited to pick it up myself.
Yeah, awesome. I'm excited. Well, and we will, Caleb, go over the Kickstarter a little bit later. Okay,
that's totally fine.
I want to make sure we get that in. So, all right. We got my number one, and then we're going to go in order based off of how long you've been in. So Mario will be after that, and Drea, and then Marcusson. Is that how we say it? I'm trying to say it right.
You got it right. Yeah.
All right, good. I feel like I'm being offensive, like when I say it. Like, like I don't know. All right.
Well, I'd let you know.
All right, you'd let me know? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's cool. We've got that again. Any of these books can be ordered from Scout directly. You can order it from Luna. You can order it from Scout directly. And then a lot of these question for you, Andrea, and maybe I shouldn't be asking this live, but I'm going to do it because it's my show. If someone has like a web store exclusive, that'll come out in the month of March too, right? Any of the extra covers, because I know a lot of people collect covers. That comes at the same time as the release type of thing, right?
Right.
Okay.
They would be getting it. All those exclusives should be coming out at the same time. So because they're all printed at the same time. Like as a creator, you would get your comped copies. They ship them at the same day that they ship. They ship to you. They ship to Scout Comics. They ship to Diamond and Lunar, all the same day.
Nice. All right. So the next thing is me. We're going to talk about me for a little bit. This is self-serving. I apologize. A little bit. I don't mean to be. It's a reality. It is what it is. So we're going to talk about my book, Granite State Punk. So let's see if we can share screen, if it'll let me do it. It's a little harder when I have to talk and do all the buttons.
Do you want Caleb?
What's that?
Do you want Caleb to toss you a few questions too?
Sure. We get a minute. Yeah. So Granite State Punk, I get to give the basic pitch. So Granite State Punk is about a punk rocker named Zeke from Rochester, New Hampshire. This book is a love letter to the state of New Hampshire, hence Granite State. New Hampshire is the Granite State Punk. As Danny says, I heard Granite State Punk has unicorns. I'll add them. You think I won't? If that's a scout requirement, I'll add some unicorns. So Granite State Punk is about the old man in the mountain. It's a place. So in New Hampshire, if you've ever seen a license plate, if you've ever seen a coin, if you've ever seen any of that stuff, there is this symbol. It's a big. Let me see if I got one here. I don't have one here. It's a big face that's in the wall. Actually, I have one. Hold on 1 second. Dead air.
I like that Excalibur poster on his wall there.
No, I like inspecting his office here.
Seriously.
See what he's got.
We're
Yeah, I
scoping
got-
out your stuff there.
That's all Magneto. It's a Magneto shrine.
Wow.
Nice.
So this is a normal license plate. This one obviously says Granite State Punk. They don't all say Granite State Punk. But in the background, you see this kind of face. So that was a natural rock formation that made a face. That face fell off in 2012. And this is a story of a fictional reason of why that fell off. It connects to witches, punk rock, rock golems, a lot of really cool stuff. It's a one-shot that's coming out. It's very, very cool. I think it's the best thing I've ever written. Andrea, who's read a lot of my stuff, also agrees. My wife agrees. So, yeah, that's what I think. So
Nice.
that is the book. Here's the other cover, which, as you see, the old man in the mountain. But it's a very cool. It's a one-shot. It's going to be a series of one-shots that come out from Scout. And that's that. Any questions?
It's really cool. I mean, I backed the Kickstarter when I came out on that. So congratulations on getting it at Scout. That's really neat to have it come out and have a wider audience get to see it, because it is really cool.
Yeah, it's the book I'm most proud of. It's the most personal, much like Jared said earlier. Like, this has the most me in it. Like, it's a very personal story, connects to a deeper part of me, and it's really, really fun. And I'm excited about everything that we've done with Scout to get it to where it's at.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you feel intimidated to be going up against my book on the shelves this much?
Intimidated. That would not be the word I would go with.
Okay. All right.
I have a feeling that you and I may be targeting different audiences.
Yeah, maybe.
He's targeting vampires for sure.
Wait, 8-year-old girls can't dig Granite State Punk?
I hope lots of 8-year-old girls are into Granite State Punk. I hope so. I hope so.
Could an 8-year-old girl read Granite State Punk, or would it not be appropriate for them?
Right. Yeah. To go to Danny's question, no, I would not recommend 8-year-olds. Danny says 8-year-olds love you.
But Danny, I would recommend it to 8-year-old girls. So if someone asks, that's what we're going with.
Yeah. Can when it comes out, can it be? Can we put? They have picks of the week at the collective, and could it be Jared Luhan's pick for 8-year-old girls? Granite State Punk.
Exactly. Let's get it written down, Danny. Let's do it.
Have a big sign. Make sure we get it. But I'm super excited about coming out for Scout. I've been excited about it for a long time. Getting there. It's been a long time coming. Super excited about it. And, Scout's been great of getting it out and doing everything it needs to be. There's even a preview of it on Luna. So if you want to read it, you can read the preview on Luna.
I will say that that license plate was pretty awesome.
Yeah, isn't it? My wife got me this. She's awesome.
Thanks.
That's cool.
Oh, this guy
only-
likes his wife.
The only feedback back in the day from Scout, which was really great. They're like, so we love Granite State. It's amazing, but New Hampshire doesn't have the biggest quantity of comic book stores. So if you're going to make a punk book, perhaps pick one that has more comic stores. It was good advice, but not as close to my heart.
Well, maybe there could be a sequel, call it like Austin State.
Right. Do every state, 50 state initiative for punk rock.
But start with states that have few comic book stores, like Alaska State Punk,
Right.
Yukon State Park Punk. When you want to reach out to the Canadian audience.
Is this the kind of book that you would recommend a soundtrack to, like any kind of punk rock that one?
Yeah. Definitely old school punk. I'm an old school punk rocker, like, Ramones, Sex Pistols. Like I love old school rock. Or if I'm listening to punk rock, I listen to a lot of covers. So Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, Newfound Glory. Like I'm a weird guy. Like it's old school, and then the stuff in the middle. I listen to a lot of it, but if I'm picking the music, I'm probably going to pick one of those. And then it's on autoplay. They're like, "We think you'll like this." I was like, "I do." I don't know who they are, but I do.
Gotcha.
So speaking of music, let's go to Mario's book. Mario, you don't know how long I've waited for this book to come out. And I'm sure you've waited longer because of a whole bunch of stuff. But I was excited ever since I saw the first preview of Coachella. I think they announced it at San Diego Comic-Con a few years ago, right? Or one of New York or San Diego. They announced it, right?
It was one of the conventions.
Not giving years, just giving location.
Yeah.
And it's coming to an end. So, in the next few months, we're going to get, when's 2 coming out?
Good question. I heard that there's some delays with distribution, but I think
Sure.
it should be coming out hopefully by the end of the month or beginning of next month.
Okay. So tell us about Killcella, what it's about, why we need to get it, and why it's one of my favorite Scout books.
Yeah, thank you. Killcella is a story about a group of friends who go to a music festival that, unfortunately, I cannot legally name. So I want to get sued, but
Right.
so, they drive up from Los Angeles to the desert near Los Angeles for a popular music festival, and
Right.
they go to see one of their favorite musicians, Topanga Cornell, who is making her big return after 5 years. And what they don't know is she has recruited her fanatical devotees to do a mass sacrifice ritual for her love. So, yeah, positive spins, 8-year-old girls will love it, unicorns, all that stuff.
Right. Is this based on a true story?
Yeah, but I can't talk about it. No, just made it up, like fiction. Issue 4 is the big conclusion. We're wrapping it up. Topanga's end game will be revealed of what exactly is going on. I wanted to do a story that just took what we knew for horror. I wasn't really a big horror person until more recently, but took that, but then put elements of music and rock and roll, but also stan culture. I'm sure we all seen how things can be on the internet, when people go to defend their favorites. So just taking that to the umpteenth degree.
Yeah, we've got Not Near Mint says Coachella is badass.
It is.
Oh, thank you.
Daniel Marche says 100%.
Hondo.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, I see that. Awesome. Thank you.
Get the solo. We'll get that up. Show it up. There you go. It's a great book. I love that first issue. I thought it was perfect. It was so good. Really loved it. Do you have the sorry, I should have asked you this beforehand, but do you have the main cover? Because it looks like Luna doesn't have the main cover on that. Or is that the main cover?
Yeah, that's actually the one that they showed was Silver Ferris's 1 ratio, which is a beautiful cover. That's actually an homage to Suspiria from 1977. So, let me fire that over to you real quick. But, we had a lot of fun. I'm sorry, what did you say?
This black cover is the one?
No, that's the
That's a 1 in 10, right?
Yeah, that's the 1 in 10.
Yeah, it may be on previews, but it doesn't. Previews is not loading well tonight because final order cutoffs tomorrow. So I'm sure it's It's lagging up. Yeah,
Is
you
the
should-
final
love that
order
cover
cut
so
off
much.
really tomorrow?
What's that?
Is the final order cut off really tomorrow?
It's tomorrow. Yeah, it's.
Is it
I don't think
different
it's
for
early.
Lunar?
I think it's by the end of day tomorrow, I believe.
Is it different for Lunar, or is that just for?
Oh, I don't know about Luna. I don't know if Luna's the same time. Do you know that, Andrea, off the top of your head?
Well, I'm looking at my book for the final order cutoff is should be in February. I would think I'm not.
Well, what it
seems
is that
over-
subscribers have a date to get it into the store, but the
Yeah.
store actually has a little bit longer.
Yeah, they
So-
have FOC, which is a separate thing, which will extend like probably another month, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
It
people
look-
can still order it.
It looks like for Lunar, at least for my book, it says the initial due date, which I assume is the order deadline, is 1/26.
126. Yeah, so you got an extra week over at Luna. So if you miss it at Diamond, which is this week, go over to Luna, order it there.
Yeah,
Comic
just
stores-
order everything right now,
Right, order. Actually, you know what? Just to
and
make
then you don't have to
sure,
worry.
initial order is-
Call your comic shop owner at home.
Right.
Wake them up if you must. Kick down their door and order all of them.
And you got to order two to make sure you get it, right? Because, shipping delays, just like Mario said. So you've got to order one from Luna and one from Diamond. Make sure your comic store knows. So you've got to order both and just see which one gets there. It's a race. It's super exciting. So, all right. Anything else you want to talk about for your particular book, Mario?
Yeah, just make sure you ask your shops to order some. I mean, the feedback has been good so far. I think Lataro and Leslie, who's the art team, Lataro Havlovich and Leslie Lansky, they really hit their stride with issue 3, which is when the bulk of the chaos happens, going into the finale in issue 4. Lataro's going to be a star after this. I think. I know he's already getting some deals elsewhere, which is great for him. He's on vacation now, but check it out. Give us a chance. If you don't like it, don't let us know negatively online.
I do know that there's a big store up in your neck of the woods that is really excited about it. What are they called? Comics of Perosia? Is that the name of them?
Ooh, yeah. Comics and More, right? Well, they used to be called Comics and More. Now it's Uncanny Comics and King of Prussia.
Yeah. I know. I talked to them on the phone, and when I was pitching my book, they told me about your book, which is super exciting. I'm like, hey, what about my book? We love Kilchella. Well, all right, we're talking about Grand Theft Auto. We can talk about Kilchella. I like it too.
I love when that happens. It's like, oh yeah, I love McDonald's. Yeah, Burger King's awesome. You gotta check it out. No, but thank you for, and I gotta thank those guys too. They're really nice to me for some reason, but ask your comic shops please to check it out and check out all the other books, of course, too. Sales are the lifeblood of creators. So, if you want to see us keep going, the more sales you get, the better chances we have. So, yeah.
Speaking of which, for the creators here who don't know Danny Morales, he runs a store out of Orlando called The Collective. He runs a show on Mondays. If you message him, he will try to get you on. I talked to him beforehand. He's always looking for a guest on Mondays to try to talk about your book, especially if it's a week before it comes out. It's always great to talk about it on Monday because it comes out on Wednesday. So if you want to hit him up, he has some slots. So make sure you hit him, Danny Morales, or just message The Collective in Orlando. Hopefully Danny's okay with me saying that, but if not, it's too late. It's too late. It's already done.
Danny's great. I've been on the show, and it was a really fun time. So definitely do that.
Yeah, it's great. Danny's great.
I'm here because Mario posted about the show on the Twitters. It worked. I'm here.
Thank you. I'm glad to see that view count actually helps. 300 people see it, one person likes. So
Right. Just as the Twitter gods intended until you pay that $8 for that blue Lego.
Hell yeah.
So, Andrea, let's talk about you. Let's talk about the Shepherd coming back. Last one was the Valentine, right? Was the last one?
Yeah, the Valentine. Volume 3 is the Valentine in the Pit. The Valentine is a 3-issue, and the Pit's a 1-shot. So that makes up the Volume 3, which was, we rolled that out in 2022, which was not unlike, absolutely catastrophic in terms of how that went. So we had paper shortages. Everybody knows this, paper shortages. And then of course the hurricane, and let's just say that the first issue, which came out in February, was the least late. So it's funny because as editor, I'm listening to other creators, like Mario asking me, like, where's my book, man? And I'm just like, it's there. We know it's there. We both know we edited it. It's been submitted. The printer is supposed to have it. God only knows. So yeah, it's kind of like the unknown soldier. It's like known only to God.
But I will say that Scout has been doing a great job on catching up recently.
Yeah, no, I mean, it has. I mean, I'm joking, of course, because we really went through a lot. It just was crazy, just the situation. I mean, you have situations where you don't have paper, or you have paper, but you only have it in certain quantities. It was just difficult, and then trying to run out trades. I mean, we literally had a backlog of trades that we wanted to print, and we just didn't have the paper to make those runs. So I've been told that they expect by February of this year we should be completely caught up, which is pretty exciting, and it says a lot about how hard our printer has worked to try to get things right. So I'm glad to see that that kind of effort. But they went through a lot. The printer. I mean, I had the chance to tour the Comic Impressions just shortly after the hurricane hit. And I mean, when we arrived, the first thing we saw was, the rear right side of the building was, it was very clear the roof had been torn off, and they had to put new plywood there and had the blue tarp and that sort of thing. And they'd actually had standing water. And as we walked through, as they were giving us the tour, we actually walked through and saw, certain books that had that were being reprinted, that had been printed, but were destroyed right there on the floor before they were able to ship out. They were, things that had been printed and were just, had it gone a couple more days, they could have gotten out before the hurricane, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, so tell everybody about The Shepherd for people who haven't read it. Shepherd, The greatest thing about The Shepherd is you can start right now. Just much like Mario's book, you can get an issue of Coachella right now. You can get the Ashcan right now on the Scout website. But Shepherd, you can get a bunch of stuff right now.
Yeah, The Shepherd is a guide of souls. The technical term for it is a psychopomp, but guides of souls are very common in mythology and legend. They're the ones who kind of show you around the afterlife, so to speak. I mean, examples of these psychopomps are those ghosts that give Ebenezer Scrooge the tours of his past, present, and future. And then, of course, probably the most famous of them is Virgil guiding Dante through the Divine Comedy, the Purgatorio, the Inferno, and the Paradiso. So that's what it is. Basically, The Shepherd is a series of ghost stories. So the Tether is no exception to that. The main character in this is Legio, who is the son of the shepherd, and he's passed away in the first issue of the first volume of The Shepherd, and he's kind of come to this point where he realizes that there are so many things in life that he is not going to get to have. He's not going to get to have a family. He's not going to have a wife. He's not going to have a career, and he's mourning that. And having a really hard time accepting that reality that's for him. And he's out kind of wandering in the afterlife, and he comes across this young woman who has this is being attacked by these creatures, and he kind of intervenes. And The Tether is really the story of him, interacting with her, and it is actually a love story. Him falling in love, and kind of in a lot of ways it's kind of a message of finding happiness where you are, and coming to peace with the things that you cannot change, and being able to accept the things that you can. So.
Nice. I've been a huge fan of Shepherd since Caliber days, so I always pick up the good stuff. Really happy to see it, especially with the Scout logo, which is really, really cool. So this is the Scout, kind of the Scout logo debut on the Shepherd, which is exciting.
Yeah, because we were Black Caravan
Sure.
when we came to Scout in 20. And then with Black Caravan being sunsetted, this will be the first time that we are full on Scout with the logo and everything. So that'll be an interesting change, and I'm excited for it because I'm very supportive of Scout in general. So
yeah, I saw you at a con this weekend. You had a
1 day con in Fort Lauderdale. So hung out. I got a chance to hang out with Todd Kelly and Kevin Joseph, who's the creator of Tart. And that was a lot of fun.
We love that dude. That guy's amazing.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that's all the time we have. If anybody else needed any promotion, that's it.
Yeah. No time for ye old man.
Jared, go get your dinner.
Yeah. Look.
Yeah, I'm gonna duck out so I can eat dinner.
What do you have?
All right. Thank you, Jared. Give us one more where we follow you to make sure we get this book and all that. One more time.
Yeah, I am at Jared Lujan on just how it's spelled there, except I didn't do the accents because social media doesn't recognize Spanish as a language. So if you just shove my name together, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. Please pre-order comics. Anybody here who's comics, even if it's not mine, right? If you find someone on here whose book sounds dope, please pre-order it. Pre-ordering it is like the best thing you can do for indie comic creators. It's gonna help me lower my blood pressure. So please pre-order. But yeah, and thank you. And if you give all the doubles here a chance, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I really do appreciate you having me on tonight as well. Thank you. And it was nice meeting all of you and listening to all of your books, except Mario, who I already love Kilchella. Mario already knows. I already loved Kilchella. Like, it's already in my pool. He let me read an early copy of it. I told him I loved it. It's the shit. So thank you guys. Thank you all of you.
Thanks, man.
Take it easy.
All right. So Nazia, we've met for a long time. I remember sitting in a long end of the year event on Blake's Live where I got to hear about how your book is the best and my books didn't even get mentioned for hours while you were in a car where I was actively participating.
That's right.
And this whole thing has been a setup to get revenge. I was bitter that you got to do all these travel and talk about Hawaii. It's all been a setup. It's all been coming down to this. We're not promoting By the Horns. Nobody reads it anyways. It's only 14 issues in of what?
Yeah, 14. Yeah, 14. Yeah. Well, thanks for that introduction, I guess.
No, By the Horns is one of my favorite books. It's very, very good. I'm super excited. In fact, what's going on here? They have actually in Luna. They actually have the Dark Earth #1. Like, they actually have the cover for it, which is wild. Here, let me show you. But go ahead and tell us about this book.
Yeah, well, first I just want to say thanks for putting this together, Travis. It's a really good idea to have creators on here to talk about their series before you get the pre-orders in.
Yeah,
it's really smart. And I like participating. So yeah, By the Horns is it's basically The Last Unicorn meets Kill Bill. It's a sci-fi fantasy action series about a hunter named Elodie who wants to kill all the unicorns on the continent of Salathis for trampling her husband. But the problem is that it's impossible to find unicorns. So Elodie just starts murdering anything out there with a horn in frustration. And unfortunately, all that monster hunting affects her standing in the farming village of Wayfair where she lives. And the elders exile her for neglecting to help the community out. So she sets out with her telepathic half-wolf, half-deer friend named Sajin, and they try to make one last go at tracking down unicorns and getting revenge. But they end up discovering that there's an even greater threat out there than unicorns. There are these 4 ancient wind wizards who have been abducting all the mystical creatures on Salathis for mysterious reasons. So Elodie and Sajin they have to reluctantly team up with two unicorns who don't know that Elodie wants to murder them, and she can rip off their horns and merge them together to form mystic weapons of her choosing. So the series it's about stabbing horned monsters, but it's really about a woman who feels like all she has left in life is revenge, and she has to decide what's more important: getting back at unicorns at all costs, or standing up for the larger community and stopping this massive looming threat to the entire continent and all the creatures on it. And so we did the first series was 8 issues, and then we came back, and it's just basically a continuation. I think of it as an ongoing series, even though it's a series of mini series. So we're doing By the Horns Dark Earth, and so there's 6 issues out now, and that series deals largely with the consequences of the actions that Elodie took in the first series that she didn't know what happened, and it has pretty catastrophic effects on the continent. There's this blight that's sweeping Salathis, and she has to find a way to stop it. And so, like I said, we got 6 issues out, and in the March, we're coming back with issue 7. We took a little bit of a break because, we've been doing the book for a really long time and just need to gear up and get some more issues in the can. And so we're coming back with issue 7, and it's a really special issue to me because it's the most collaborative comic that Jason Mears, the artist, is amazing. It's the most collaborative book we've ever done, because Jason had this idea to do a travel issue because he has all these scenes in his head. A lot of times I'll get them in the book. He'll tell me, oh, I want to do this pirate village. All right, I guess I'll figure out a way to put that in the book. But he has all these scenes that he wanted to do, and sometimes they just don't fit in with the story. So he had an idea to do this travel issue where he could put some of those scenes in and illustrate them. And he's like, could you do that and maybe try to make a story out of that? And so I figured out a way to do it, but also make it just super personal. It's focused on Evelyn, who's a floating eyeball, or you see there on the cover. And she's writing in a journal about her experiences. She was a slave to one of the wind wizards. And so, it was really an interesting way to do a comic book, because Jason I gave him a little bit of direction and he just drew some of these pages, and then I had to script over that. And I think it came out really great, and I'm really excited to see what people think about it. It's a tale really for anyone who's just felt low or lost or alone in the world. As we know, with the pandemic and everything going on, a lot of people had those feelings. So something that I didn't know I wanted to write about, but I ended up doing it in this book. So it's kind of similar. If people have read By the Horns, we did an issue number 6. It was a silent issue, and it was also standalone, but it also was very important to the whole series. And this one's kind of like that too. Like, you could read this one on its own, but it greatly enhances the characters, especially Evelyn, going forward. So really proud of this one.
Yeah, I've loved By the Horn. I've loved. I'll be honest. Like, I remember reading the first issue. I was like, "What is this about?" And then I read the second issue. I was like, I don't like unicorn books. And I've told Caleb this himself. And then I remember picking up my comics, and David Byrne, who was at Scout, and it was like on issue 5, and he's like, I thought you said you didn't like that book. I was like, who? I never said that. He's like, I think you did. And I was like, this book is great. What are you talking about? And I was debating, and that's what I love. Sometimes we look at a book, you think it's not for you, but it really is. And this was one of the examples for me where I was just like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Seems a little happy, but it was not happy. Not happy at all.
No, I mean, people say that. My series are like that. You think you're getting one thing and then you're going to get something else. And I think it's because all my ideas are very fantastical. They're just really kind of out there, but all the characters are very grounded in reality. So even though you're going to have a floating eyeball and a unicorn killer and a talking dog, you're going to feel those emotions. At least I hope it comes across that you're going to be able to identify with those characters. And so I think people, when they read it, if they don't really understand the premise, or maybe they don't think it's for them, when they read it, then they might change their mind. And that to me is always the best feeling.
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate it.
Do you have a box yet? Have they made a box yet for Scout for you?
Oh yeah, they made a box. Yep.
Okay.
In fact, Andrea, when I was at that convention, he had it, and that's the first time I saw it. So I have them. I bought some myself, but I made it better. I took all the issues that we had from Dark Earth, put them inside. We made a record for the first issue.
Nice.
Pressed on vinyl, put that in there, and like did a print. And then I sell those on my website, so you can get like the full collection plus extra stuff in it.
That's smart to do too. That's the beauty of once you get that title box, you can put it on steroids. And because you have things, you have access to stuff. I do that myself with the ones that I buy, where I just jack up, put some extra stuff in there, and
and it can fit a lot. I mean, we have 14 issues, plus I had that other stuff in there. It's got the comic tag, of course.
Yeah.
For people who don't know about this, the Scout boxes, they come with usually like the first arc of a series, and then it has the comic tag, which it's like a downloadable code so that you can get the book digitally, but it's also like a collector's item too.
Right.
So it's pretty cool. I like that. So yeah, that's been pretty fun. I like to try to create new things. We've done all kinds of stuff for By the Horns, the record, the horn, the drinking horns I talked about earlier. We did a mead. We did a collaboration with Actual Meadery, and they made that, and all that stuff sold out earlier. So people always ask me about it, if we're going to do more. Maybe we'll do it in the future, but that's always the fun part of it. It's like, I know everybody feels the same way here when you do this comic. Like, you put so much of your love into it, and you just hope it gets out to other people. And for me, I just want to do everything I can, like it's the last thing I'm ever going to do. Right. So I always try to go pretty big whenever I launch a comic book. And I'm really thankful for all the readers and everything, because we are a real long running book, 14 issues in, and the readers have kept us going. And in a small indie book like By the Horns, it's amazing for us to be able to tell a complete story. And so thank you.
Yeah, no, I love the book, and definitely if go to the website and get them. Those title boxes are great. And here's a secret, guys. I buy a lot of them. They're 50% off at holidays. So like Labor Day and stuff, they always do 50% off sale. So wait for them and buy them. Buy them all up. Don't tell Scout. Don't tell the creators, because they're getting ripped off when they do that. But it's fine. It's fine. But no, we all want you to read the books. That's always more important than any of us making money. I'm sure I can speak for all creators when it comes to that. We want you to read our books.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, and shout out to Ignacio. I saw he was on here.
Yeah, he did a cover for you.
He did a cover, and we're also working on a book together.
Nice.
So I put out a newsletter, and we did a little teaser in the newsletter of that book. We haven't pitched it yet, but we're working on it. So we got a lot of stuff done, and it's been really fun. He's a great collaborator.
Yeah, we work on a whole bunch. He's done a bunch of stuff for Orange Cone, and him and I are also talking about a collaboration. I have to write the script for him, because that's necessary. Apparently, whatever. These divas of artists. But all right, so we are kind of at the end of the program. So if anybody needs to go, now's the time. But I did want to, go through some stuff. Mario sent me some things I want to show off. Anything else you guys want to talk about? And we'll just kind of talk comics for a little bit if you guys want to hang out. Caleb, I want to go over your Kickstarter, but if anybody's going to go, that's completely cool. What's that? Ignacio. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Thanks, guys. No, I'm
cool for hanging out. I'm just going to grab another beer. I'll be right back.
Yeah, do it. Anybody got to go?
I got a couple minutes.
Okay. Andrea, you got to go?
I'll stick around for a little bit longer.
All right, cool. Yeah. I'll try to wrap it up in a half hour or so. So Mario, let's go over your stuff real quick and show these cool covers of issue 3 and of issue 4.
Yeah, sure. First, I want to talk about your whole plot here to get Marcus on the show. That's like the Cask of Amontillado right there. It's just your whole revenge plan.
It's all about he wasted my time one day, so therefore my whole life is to waste his time. That's it. No, I love him. I think he's a great creator. Yeah, it's really cool to do this. A lot of times when I do these creator hangouts, it's mostly people I know, and it's about 50-50 here, which I think is really, really cool. Scout, we're all in kind of the same club, right? We're all in the same, they don't really have bullpens anymore, but we would be the Scout bullpen if that was a thing. So, all right, here is issue 3 covers. My God, right? They're so good.
Thanks. Yeah, I have a direct hand in all the covers. Serge Acuna, of course, he did the main covers, covers for all 4 issues. But that Luana Vecchio one, I mean, she is killing it right now with Lovesick. She won the Russ Manning Award for Best Newcomer off of Bolero from Image. Yeah, I mean, she's a really great talent out of Italy. Amazing. And of course, Lautaro Havlovich, he is the series artist on Kilchella, and he just wanted to have some fun with, putting something together for the C cover, the Scout exclusive, which I think is also will be available on Whatnot.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's Andrea. That's all Scout exclusive now, or exclusive and Whatnot exclusive. That kind of like joint, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have one for Granite State Punk, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to share it. So I'm going to wait until I get an okay, because I'm not sure if it's going to have trade.
Yeah, you can share it if you wanted to. I don't think that there's any problem with that.
Well, it's more I want to see whether or not it has trade dress or not. It's okay. It's no big deal. We can wait. I'll share it when it's time. But there is a third cover for Granite State as well. But let's go to this one as well. What do we got here?
That was the A cover that I guess there was a glitch and we couldn't get it loaded. But it's just huge Wicker Man vibes going on with Serge's cover.
Love it. I love both those covers. Both those covers are killer. I love this series. I think it's great. I think you've made great choices on the colors, on the covers, on the positioning of the arc of, especially in first issue. There's murders, spoilers, guys, but when the murders happen and how they happen, I think you did a great job of leading it to like, we don't know everything, and that really brings you into that world, which is really, really cool, because I think it would have been easy to start at the concert event, especially when you read modern writing, right? Start at the thing and then work your way out. I love that you did old school pacing, and like it's very good.
Thank you. I used to work in music. I used to promote concerts when I was in high school. I started out doing DIY stuff, and then I got hired by a local venue. Once they saw I was taking all the kids and getting them to do to come to my shows at random VFW halls that I had booked. It's all part of the show, right? You have the lead up to it, and then the warm up, then the anticipation when everyone's getting ready to go, and the first act comes on, or I tried to follow that type of pacing for how you would go for a show. Maybe if there's some interest, we can go for an encore. But thank you for the kind words. Yeah, we just tried to follow that pacing and make it feel exciting, like we're building up to something.
Yeah, no, I really loved it. I thought that the first issue was great. I can't wait to read the rest. I think it's been very cool.
Mario, have you done like a playlist for it or anything since it's
stuff?
It's all the weekend. That's all I listen to. I'm half joking with that one. Yeah, I have something. I tried to put together I just did some quick mixing with like 6 tracks to put it out there. Try to put it out on a more private channel so I don't get sued by copyright holders. But I can put together a quick little text file and let you guys know. I think I was going to save that for the trade, actually, just to say like these are some tunes to spin. Kid Cudi, Pursuit of Happiness, things like that.
Yeah, you do like a mix or something on. I use Bandcamp, but you could do it on Spotify or something. Just throw a list or something together. It would be fun.
Yeah.
I think about doing that for our book. I mean, we did a soundtrack for it, but I've always wanted to do kind of like a playlist for it as well. I just haven't gone around to it.
Do you guys remember that old site? This is not related to anything, but that old site where you used to be able to have a little avatar and you became the DJ, like a rotating DJ?
No.
I'll have to find it. It was so cool. We should have a scout hangout of it. But basically, you get a little avatar and you're in the audience, but then you say, hey, I want to play a song. And like you get to be the DJ for a little bit. And then people can vote if they really like you to stay or not. Like it's all this really cool things while you're playing music, like a Spotify music. It's pretty dope.
Huh.
I think it'd be fun. So I want to ask Michael a question because, so Michael, you are a brand new creator. So that's got to be super intimidating, especially like a lot of us go the Kickstarter route or they go the direct to cons and try to kind of hustle that way. But you are already in the big leagues, already right here with Scout. So what's that like, and how's it been for you?
It's well, I mean, I don't know what I don't know, right? So
Sure.
I'm actually, by hanging out with you guys on Twitter and seeing your campaigns and stuff like that, it's like, wow, now that's it, like retrospectively, like that could be very intimidating to have to, launch a title like that and find your audience before you find a publisher. And that's like impressive that you guys have done that. And I'm sure at some point I might follow in your steps and try that out. But yeah, with this one, I just sort of, I went to a comic book writing class with an idea and just learned how to script in comic book form. And then I engaged the team for a couple of pages to send it around and made a couple of submissions, and that's how it happened. It came together like that. So, but now, of course, launching it and getting it to the public, that's a big learning.
Yeah. It's so much more work than you think. It's not just writing a comic and having it drawn. There's just so much with promotion and navigating things with the publisher and social media. Yeah.
Right. And I guess, if I were to be bold enough to give advice for anyone who's looking to get into a comic or write their first comic, it would be make sure it's a story you're in love with, because you have to spend so much time. If you can't just, pour yourself into it, it's going to be hard to get to the finish line. But if it's a story you're in love with and it just, it propels you forward, then that's a big help, So when you come, so for me, for conjuring my next idea, I have to really, now with this perspective behind me, I have to say, I have to make sure it's a story I can really fall in love with and put the time needed, because it's a lot of time.
Yes. Yeah. I broke in kind of the same way too with Voracious was my first book.
Oh yeah.
We just did it. Like we just put together an entire first issue and then pitched it and then got a publisher for it. So we did a couple Kickstarters after it to try to make money to help pay for coloring and stuff like that, but we didn't do it to start. So yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like you have to just do it. A lot of people have ideas for comics and they don't do the follow through. You actually have to put together the whole comic book, finish it. That would be my advice too.
Hey, Dell. We're doing great. We're promoting the upcoming March releases for Scout. And this is all the releases. There's a lot more books that are coming out in Scout in the month of March. This is just the people who I know came into my radar, which is something I want to give you credit for, Michael. Being on my radar, like there's a lot of creators who are new who I don't know who they are. I don't know how to reach them. They have great covers. They have great stuff. I mean, I could have went to Andrea and said, hey, can you connect me? But I'd like to see him in my sphere, like in my sphere of influence. Because that's a better connection for me. But you've done a great job of getting your book out there and letting people know that you exist, and that's what you got to do. That's half the battle. So, congrats on that.
Yep, and more stuff to follow, more teases to come in the next several weeks. So I'm looking forward to sharing more information about it and a couple of gifts.
Nice.
To show off some more artwork, because I don't think I haven't shared any of the interior art yet. So I have to do pick a page or two and do some of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Andrea, being the editor, Scout editor in chief, are you upset with Caleb and Nacio here to have to research so much unicorn to make sure their unicorns are accurate in the trailer?
Well, they represent a couple of books that I don't actually edit. That's actually kind of cool. Like I said, Nicole edits By the Horns, and then Colleen Douglas was the editor for the Unicorn Vampire. So yeah, that would have been very interesting to see. You know, one of the first questions that I would have had is, you know, what kind of written material do we even have for legends involving unicorns? I mean, we know that stories are told about them, but I'm just curious, like, how far back does that go? I honestly don't know. I'd be curious to find out, you know, to see in what particular cultures, where is it born? You know, I don't know. Maybe you guys know. Just curious.
I know. I mean, unicorns are typically portrayed as just happy, bright, always good, full of light and candy and stuff. And so that's why I wanted to go the opposite route.
Yeah.
Like, what if they were assholes?
You know, it's funny because in that way, our books are probably even more similar than people think, because I wouldn't call my unicorn an asshole, but he is like a depressed, like emo guy. He's like, he's very sad and very angry, and he's not happy in rainbows, and he's got a scar across his face from the war days. So, you know,
Nice, yeah. I thought that when I saw your book, I was like, wow, this unicorn's got to be hard.
yeah.
But yeah, you know, and it's a lot of people will see the book, even our book, even though, you know, there's a lot of different elements in fighting, and they'll think because there's unicorns in it that it is for 8-year-old girls, and it's definitely not. Our By the Horns is not.
That's great.
Well, that's what I tell them. I tell them that at the table. I'm like, because, and I think what leads them down that primrose path, to be quite honest, is the way it's colored. It reminds me of Kirkman's like Invincible, because Invincible is colored in a very happy, kind of joyous fashion, and then it's like,
Wait. You're telling me I shouldn't have bought Invincible for my niece?
I think it's got to be one of the goriest comic books.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
am I wrong on this? It's just
No, you're right. It's one of my favorite books of all time.
splattered
Actually.
across the panel and stuff like that. I'm just, but when you first look at it from a visual, it's like all the colors are very happy, and you know, it's like a child's book, and you would like horrified. They'd need therapy after they were, you know. So it's like, I always felt, it's not what you think it is. It's like these unicorns are not what you're thinking. They're not what you're expecting.
Yeah, so it's always an uphill battle, because you think you're getting one thing and you're getting something else. It's the same thing with when I did Voracious too, because it's got dinosaurs in it. And when I would do conventions, I have toy dinosaurs on the table, and so like kids would want to read it, you know. And the very first line is "fuck you" in the book. So I would be like, hey, you know, if your kid is okay with reading this first line, then maybe, you know, the book would be okay for them. But I don't know. I don't have kids, so I can't really tell.
It's funny that you would say that you get this people reacting that they think it might be for younger audiences, and then it's not, because my book is definitely for younger audiences, but because it's called Unicorn Vampire Hunter, like a lot of people assume that it's like a metal book. Like,
really?
Yeah, I get a lot of people being like, you know, like, this isn't like this badass bloody thing where, like, you know, everyone's cursing and stuff, and it like, I think some people are like want it to be that, but
see, our book is actually pretty metal. Like, even the names of the places are named after metal bands.
Okay.
So, you know, and then we did a soundtrack with a metal band. So yeah. It's interesting. Everybody's got a kind of a different take. They see it, and they're going to assess it their own way, and hopefully they pick it up and they're surprised by it. You know, whether it's my book or your book or anybody's book. You know, that's always my goal. I want them to come in. Yeah, they're going to have these preconceived ideas of what it is, but maybe you're going to get something a lot better out of it if you read it.
I mean, the hope is that people are hooked in by the like high concept, right? And then after they've read the book, they keep reading. They get to issue 14 because it's good,
right?
You know, and then you're not relying on the high concept anymore. You're just telling stories about characters.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, because the high concept, you got that one line, but it's not going to encapsulate everything that happens in your book.
No.
Well, is it a concern for Scout Comics as an organization that all of our books, regardless of the language, is targeted to 9-year-old girls? Is that a problem as an organization, or no?
No, I don't think that's a problem. That's what we're doing. So
get the younger readers.
yeah, if you want to do a Scoot title, that's Richard's very particular about that. I've personally been scolded by Richard about books that should and should not be part of Scoot. So yeah, but other than that, I mean, I think if you take a look at the books that we're publishing, there's a pretty good variety of stuff that we're running out there.
Yeah, I would actually say that Scout actually has got edgier as it's gone along. Earlier the stuff weren't as edgy, and it's got a little bit more edgy. But also the things that are in popularity tend to be a little bit more edgy. So it's kind of just going with the flow of the times of indie comics, right? So
little bit of a non sequitur, but to circle back around to something that Michael said about picking pages to show off. When I first started doing comics, I mean, this is my first Scout book, but I've been doing Kickstarter comics for a long time. And something that that I used to do is not show off very many pages at all. I was really protective of the interiors. And now if I launch a new book, I mean, there's the first 12 pages are just on the Kickstarter.
Read it.
I want you to read it. I mean, now when you as I get later in the series with Unicorn Vampire Hunter, I have a link to here's the first issue. And I mean, they have to sign up for my email list to get the first issue, but it's here, you can just have the first digital issue because I want you to read it because I believe in it. And I think that if they read it, they'll want to read more. And I think, not to toot my own horn, but I think that they do, they read it and they do want to read more. So, I mean, I'm not suggesting that for when you have the first issue coming out through Scout that you send people the whole issue, but I'm saying I wouldn't be afraid of putting a few pages out there because, if it's good, it's good. And if then people are going to be drawn in. For that reason, I'm also really not, I always have lettered previews. A lot of times people on Kickstarter do unlettered previews because they're oh, they don't want to spoil the story, but I'm they're not going to know what's happening. So I'm all about those. I just give it away because, I want to hook people, but everyone has their own personal preferences about that. But that's that's what I really believe in.
Yeah, I think show the work. I'm same thing. Show as much as you can, as much as you're willing to show, and take care of that. So yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think it's great. I think Scout's a great company to work for. I think we all have great books. I'm excited to see what March does. I'm excited to table with you guys in the future. I'm excited about Andrea when he represents Scout, having all of our books on a rack selling, which is really cool. That's one of the coolest things.
That's the number one thing about being on Scout is that Andrea pitches your book at cons.
Right.
I try. I'm only limited by space, of how many. So I try to rotate even, the books that I carry. But it's a pleasure to do. I'm really proud of the books that we put out. We work really hard to try to, work with our creators as editorial staff. And I just feel like we have a really great range of books that, that people can enjoy. I like to think we've got something for everybody, and we're constantly looking, to expand on that. So.
Oh yeah, speaking of expanding, I was told that I should bug you on this live stream about when my next series is getting the green light.
Well, that's I will tell you the truth is that I'm not part of the submissions committee, and most of the time I don't think they listen to me.
Okay.
But what usually the way it works is that as my understanding is 5 people on the submissions committee, and you typically need to get a majority of that.
Oh, they already told me. I got
okay,
James Hake already told me the next series is a go. They just haven't sent me.
So once that contract is sent to you and it's signed, that's when I come into the game, and they give me, they say, hey, he's been signed. You can either, you can assign him to one of your editors or take him yourself. And what I try to do is I try to give books to my editors based on the kind of things that they enjoy doing. I'm very flexible. I've done edited stuff from historical fiction to humor. One of the books that I edited was Mista Easta, which if you've read Mista Easta, I joked with Richard. I was like, my dissertation director somewhere, if he ever found out that I was editing that book, he probably would not be pleased. He's British himself, and so he'd be like, "Really? How many years did I spend in preparing you to become a scholar? And this is what you've done to me. This is what reduced us to." So, yeah. So I mean,
So you're the wrong person to bother about.
Yeah, I am realistically. I mean, I'll always knock on the door on your behalf. I did today, but it doesn't mean that I'll get any better response than you, because they get around to it. They've got their list of work that they've got to get done. But I'll always knock on the door for you. I mean, so don't be afraid to come to me and ask me to knock on the door. I will do it for you.
All right.
I can't wait for Narwhal Vampire Hunter.
There you go.
I mean, I can I can tell you the other book that I've got going. I'm sure they wouldn't mind. It's something that I've been doing on Kickstarter a lot, which is called actually Vampire Detective in Space. So it's like similar themes.
Yeah.
But so that will eventually be coming out through Scout. I don't think I'm breaking any laws by saying that.
I read it over the weekend, actually.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Awesome.
Oh, thank you.
There's so much going on with it. There's like many stories in there that you can just explore, and it's really clever. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
It hasn't gotten as strong of a reception as Unicorn Vampire Hunter, but I get like way more like in-depth, like when people do respond, they're like really excited about it, which is what has kept me going on that one. Unicorn Vampire Hunter is like, I got lucky with the timing, with how popular it got. But I love it when people flatter me. That is what drives me. I was telling somebody, Mike Teener, maybe the other day, that he asked people what keeps them going. And on my newsletter recently, I literally asked, I said, if you backed my latest Kickstarter and you go on there and you comment and say what you love about the series, I will give you a free bonus sticker when you get your rewards. And so I just purchased their love and flattery, and you know what? It worked, and I felt so good. And I wrote so much that day. So,
That's awesome.
Nice.
I like Caleb's titles to his series are very succinct. You know what you're getting. Space Vampire and Unicorn Vampire Hunter. It's you pull no punches.
Oh, thanks.
I think Mario does fine. It's Kill right in the title. It's Kill Chilla.
Oh, Kill Chilla is a great title. That's an inspired title.
Yeah.
I also think By the Horns is a good title. It's especially once you figure out what she's doing to the horns. It's good.
I actually think it's a big twist. It's about rhinos. We just haven't got to them yet. It's gonna be a huge twist in the last arc. Be like, look, these horns don't matter. The rhino horns or whatnot.
Yeah, you never know. We have a lot of twists in the book, so you just never know.
I had a question for Andrea about the shepherd. So I know that the character of the shepherd is like, and maybe I'm wrong, but it's a self-insert, right? I mean, he looks like you.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, is the shepherd's son your son?
Yeah. I mean, the origins of the story actually are a nightmare that I had about my son Roberto, who's now my co-writer. He's actually sitting across from me, giving me the evil eye because he wants to play video games with his buddy, and we share a writing office. And he's
out of the house at 7 a.m.
Exactly. So he had work today, he did the full shift, and then had class afterwards. So I'm busting his chops a little bit, but anyway, yeah, we had a nightmare. I had a nightmare about him that was incredibly vivid, a very kind of drawn out thing. And I woke up very shaken. Took me a couple of days before I could get to the point where I could share it with him. And he was really the force to say, we really need to do something with this story. And basically nagged me to death until we sat down and wrote it out. And yeah. So, in fact, the Tether, this book that's coming out this year, is really his first time where he's the lead writer. We've done it, he's done parts of stories that he's done completely himself, but this is the one where it was his idea and his, he's the lead writer on it. So it's pretty exciting to see that happen.
Awesome.
Well, that's cool. So you get along enough?
Oh,
to
yeah.
write something.
Yeah, we
That's good.
write together. And he's actually working on a trilogy of novels right now, illustrated novels. We're hoping to bring him to Scout. We'll see what Scout says about it. But he loves the, fantasy, the D&D style type thing. And this is the world that he's created is like that. It's the first novel is called Demon's Hourglass. And it's part of the first novel of a trilogy, but it is going to be illustrated novels. So I'm really excited to see how this all shakes out. But that one's done. The first novel is actually done, and I think it's like 90,000 words, something like that. So it's a pretty hefty piece of work. So
Nice.
Well, I have kept you guys all for a long time. I still got to pitch Caleb, but I want to let anybody who, again, I told you.
Yeah, I better go because he wants to play his video games. So
right. we don't want that. You're just
yeah, exactly. It's like the next news flash on social media will be the Shepard co-creator Shepard Drea Molinari was killed yesterday by his own son, actually, who said, I wanted to play video games, and I told him that I wanted to play video games.
Sometimes you gotta make sacrifices.
Well, if you want to boost sales.
That's how it works, guys. You just gotta pull off a
so that's Andrea's book. Make sure you get it, order it. He's also has hands in everything at Scout. He touches it at some point. So thank you for coming on. I appreciate it, Andrea.
All right, guys. Take care and good night.
Good to see you.
Anybody else time to go?
I gotta go. I wake up early for work, early. So
Well, I'll miss you, Mario.
I miss you too.
I'm actually going to play video games too with my friend.
I'll play video games right now.
Is it Andrea? Are you playing with Andrea's son? You guys have
No, I play on Steam with my buddy from high school every Tuesday, actually, at like 9:30. So, yeah,
Marcus,
pretty fun.
I ask you before you go. I have to ask about this vinyl record. Did you write any of the music for it, or lyrics?
No, I didn't write the music for it at all. No, I came up with the titles for the two songs. We did it's two songs on a 45 7-inch vinyl, and so it's for the first issue. So it came out with the first issue, and like Scout had a orange edition of it. We did orange, purple, blue. Scout had orange that sold out. I think purple sold out, and I still have blue. I did 100 of each of those. So it's a band called Arctic Sleep. And, I'm a host on the Metalheads podcast. And so I know a lot of metal bands because they come on and talk about their albums and other things. And
when you approach about writing a song about a unicorn, they're like, what?
Yeah, Keith D, he's like the mastermind behind that band Arctic Sleep. He was all for it because he was really into my first series of Voracious, and then I pitched him this one, and he was all into it. So he did tailor the lyrics based on the first issue. He read it, and we talked about the characters and their motivations. And so the two songs are like, the first one is from Elodie's perspective, and the second song is from the unicorn's perspective.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, the first one's called Blade Through Your Heart, and I forget what the second one's called now. And I wrote the titles for it. I forget. Yeah, that was really fun collaboration to do that. And then I started a record label and just pressed them on vinyl, and so that was fun. I always wanted to do that because I'm so into music. That's why I asked the music questions. Everybody's been talking about that, but metal is my first love, and being on the Metalheads podcast, we know a lot of musicians. We get promos constantly, and it's almost a second job for me just to listen to metal these days.
Cool.
Well, I have I'm doing a Granite State Punk concert in April. So I'm doing like a concert release party with stuff, and there's an original song being written. So I'll donate that to your label when it's done, and you can.
Cool, yeah. I am writing lyrics for Yeah, no, that'd be cool. I haven't done. I've done 2 releases for it. I haven't done it lately because I'm just concentrating on other things. But I would
Yeah.
like to do more. The releases for it's the name of my company is Skull Fracture, and so I have Skull Fracture Records. So I always thought about, well, it'd be cool to get other creators and do music with comics or books. You know, something that kind of music that informs
Yeah.
something that's written or illustrated. You know, that was kind of the thing behind Skull Fracture Records, is to do that. So I'd like to do that more of that in the future if I can.
I'm down. Yeah. Let's talk.
Yeah.
But let's get Caleb, Mario, Mackenzie, you got to go. You got to both playing video games with Andrea's son. I get it. I didn't know you guys were so close, but I'm excited about it. You guys got anything to say or where you are? Let people know where to find you.
Yeah, you can
Mario,
find me
you
on
first.
Twitter at the other Mario C, and on Instagram at another Mario C. I mean, all the good stuff's hidden underneath the green circles. You're not going to get anything juicy, but yeah, you can find me there. I have a Kickstarter coming for Devil Water, written by me and illustrated by Silver Ferris. I think that's launching next week. I'm not in charge of the campaign. Yeah, hopefully people check that out. It's about a bootlegger who is possessed by a demon, and he is out for revenge on the gangsters that stole his booze in Prohibition era. So, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well,
That's
and your
some-
last Kickstarter, I was so angry I didn't think about that idea.
Oh yeah, that flopped. Well, what can you do?
I don't think it flopped. That concept is so good. It's so good. So good.
What was your last Kickstarter called?
It was One True Love. It was just straight up old, like hard boiled noir stuff. But you know, it flopped. So what can you do?
I think someone said Mario. It said something about an encore issue. Like that'd be really cool for Kilchella if you had like one, like somewhere down the road, an encore one off. You know, for and just call it like Kilchella Encore or something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, with the way the book ends, maybe we'll see. I mean, we got a few things going on. Like I said, Lataro's becoming a big star. I think he's got an Image book going, and I got a couple things on the fire. But you know, I'd love to, if the demand's there, and you know, Scout wants it, we can discuss that. But yeah, like I said, I'm an old man. I got to go to sleep. So thank you for having me, Travis. Thanks everyone
No problem.
for chatting.
Good night.
All right.
Good night.
Take care, guys.
Night, Mario.
Bye.
Give me just a second. I've got to look up because
I
the
like
book
how
that
it
I was
just-
thinking, the book I was
everybody keeps dwindling here.
the
Pretty
book I
funny.
was thinking is called Fogline, and what it is about is it's about a guy who's listening to a true crimes podcast, and then he finds out he's the one who did the murder. He remembers it, and he's like, "Shit,
Oh,
they're getting very close to figure out my murder." So he goes and moves the body from where it was. It's so good. I was like, I wish I thought of that. It was so good.
mhm.
All right, but you go. You've got to go. Say your stuff. Not say so you can go play video games. What are you playing tonight?
I don't know. I think we might start a new game. So I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see. Yeah, you can, for me, you can check out my website, marcason.com. I'm Darth San on Twitter and Darth Marcason on Instagram. If you want to know more about By the Horns, you can follow us on social media. Our handle on all the platforms is By the Horns Comic. You can listen to the Metalheads podcast in your favorite podcast app, or just go to metalheadspodcast.com. You can play episodes. We have some written features on there. Jason and I are going to do a Kickstarter for a hardcover of By the Horns, the first 8 issues, pretty soon. We have most of the stuff ready to go. I think it's going to launch like mid-February or something. So if you want a nice hardcover collection, some bells and whistles, that's coming. And I also wanted to mention, and this is something for you too, Travis. You Promised Me Comics has nominated a bunch of Scout books.
It's true.
For 2022, and By the Horns Dark Earth is nominated for Best Scout Comic and Best Indie Comic Series of the Year. And you can vote for us and other great series, I think, until February 5th. And the link for that is on all my social media sites. But Travis is also nominated for for an award as well. So
That's Kickstarter. Yep.
yep.
Awesome.
So yeah, and thanks so much for having me on, Travis. This is a great idea. It was really cool to meet everybody. You know, you do these comics and you're kind of in a bubble. You're just on your own, or you're just working with your creators. And yeah, you might see some people online, but you don't often get to see people face to face. So I really like that. I appreciate it. It's nice to have a community, you know?
Right. Well, I appreciate you. It's thanks for coming on.
All right. Take it easy, guys.
Nice to meet you.
You too. Bye.
All right. Caleb,
Travis.
why do you do Kickstarter? Like, you do them too much. Like, I only do one a year out of respect for the fans. I would never want to. All right, tell us about this. What are we doing here?
This is sort of funny timing. This is a reprint of Unicorn Vampire Hunter #1, which is also what you're getting if you get the Scout edition, but there's a different version. This is a fancy silver metallic cover with a cover art by Matthew Warlick. It's a very cool collector's edition cover, and this is going to be like, you can get it on this Kickstarter or you can't get it. I mean, I might have like, you know, maybe a dozen extra copies that I'll print just in case the copies come out screwed up or whatever. So it's possible that, you know, if you see me at a con, I might have one or two of these, but like I'm really only printing enough to fulfill the Kickstarter. It's just sort of like because Unicorn Vampire Hunter is like my most successful thing ever. We've got the issue 5 is shipping out to backers right now, and we have the Scout edition coming out, and before long the trade will be out, and I wanted to just celebrate that. And Kickstarter was doing a Make 100 thing, so I was like, I'll do a special edition, and it's been going pretty well. People are into it.
Right, and you sold out of the first edition already. The first time.
Yeah. So the first 100 will be numbered. They'll have a stamped number on them, and then so the rest of them are still. I'll print as many as people order of the regular edition. It's the same thing. It's still silver metallic cover. It just doesn't have a numbered stamp number on it.
Okay.
Yep. So this is sort of like mock-up of what it will look like, that 3D version, and then below that is the actual artwork. That'll be, and it's a virgin cover, so I didn't want to detract from the awesome artwork that Matt Warlick did. So,
and there's the add-ons if you missed it or you don't want to wait. Like for me, the negative thing about Scout Comics doing our books after the fact is you can get the books now, right? You don't have to wait. So if you don't want to wait till March, don't be afraid to order them right here. And then order an extra, just order the nonstop one after that, or order the trade later to keep it so you can keep all these in pristine condition. But you can order them all as add-ons.
Yeah, you can order 1 through 5. Plus I did some role-playing game books that are in the world of Unicorn Vampire Hunter, and you can order all that stuff. But for me, there's like a lot of different versions of #1. So with the Scout cover and the silver cover, there will actually be 6 different covers of #1 that I've done. And, for those who are keeping track and collecting, personally, that the collector bug goes off in my head. At first I was very hesitant. When I first started doing Kickstarters, I didn't do variant covers, but it's like the #1 thing that people love. And so, now I go, I don't go as heavy as some people do, but certainly, so I think it's going to be cool. It's like a celebration.
6. Let's cheat. This is my latest Kickstarter. Hold on. Let's see. Yes, 6. That's standard for me. So,
but I was actually inspired by to do this. I was inspired by a Kickstarter from, I want to say like 5 or 6 years ago, from Kaylin Smith, who does Plume. Did a gold edition of Plume #1 like in 2017 or 2018, where it was like a really cool foil stamped gold cover of her #1, and that's what was my introduction to Plume. Actually, I backed that Kickstarter, and I thought it was just like really cool. And I don't know if she knows that I just copied her idea. I don't actually really know her personally, but if she figures it out, then I would definitely give her all the credit for the idea. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. And then, that's like you said, it's my only Kickstarter for the year. I'm definitely not doing 6 more this year.
Right.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. But thank you, gentlemen, for being the final 2 to be here till the end. It's been a great Creators Hangout. I love doing Creators Hangout. They're super fun. Me and Michael were talking behind the scenes, and and I guess anybody's watching. Like I don't want to be a YouTube guy. That's not my thing. So like I kind of do these when I don't like it. It really takes like a Caleb going, "Hey man, I got something going on. I like your show. Can I be on it?" And then I will ignore you and then go, "Oh yeah, I feel bad for ignoring Caleb. Let's just do his thing so he doesn't get mad at me. I want him to do it." But no, I love these. So if you're watching, you're paying attention to stuff. I am going to do one more little self promotion if that's okay.
Of course.
Good.
So next week, 125, I have my first in comic stores comic that has never gone to Kickstarter, and that is Coins of Judas.
Oh yeah.
So if you can please ask your comic store to get it or go pick it up and take a picture because it means the world to me. I'm trying to find the image, but I can't do that.
And who's the publisher on that one, Travis?
It's called Band of Bards. So they'll be publishing that. So actually, this year is really good. It's January, February of Coins of Judas, and then we've got Granite State Punk later in the year, and then later in the year we do the same thing again. I'm going to have 2 more Coins of Judas, and we're going to have Granite State Punk Breaking Edge later in the year for Scout. So we're going to kind of rotate the whole thing. So I'll be 6 times at least in Diamond this year, and then just one Kickstarter because I don't want to overwhelm anybody. I know.
That Coins of Judas Nintendo cover is killer.
Yeah.
Is that a store exclusive?
It is. It's a store called Cowabunga Comics. Yep. There's a metal version.
Wow.
And there is a regular version.
Yeah, I'll be picking up one of those for sure.
Yeah, Cowabunga Comics. Kyle Willis did it. There's a lot of great covers, so check them all out. There's tons. Ignacio, who's in the chat, did a very, very cool one. But yeah, check them out. Pick it up. I'm very proud of the book. I'm proud of everything.
Yeah, that's like a Mario 3 reference, right?
Yeah. Super Mario 3. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that definitely
It's even got the Nintendo like stuff, like the little Nintendo and the Nintendo seal. Let me make myself big.
That hits my demographic.
That is demographic.
Yeah, very good.
So it's fun.
All right, Cowabunga Comics, got it.
Cowabunga Comics. He will also, for a small fee, do remarks too. It's pretty inexpensive. So, thanks, Travis. Always a pleasure. Yeah. But again, pick up Miracle Kingdom, first book out. It's got a crazy cover. Pick up Unicorn Vampire. Pick up we got By the Horns. We got The Shepherd, and I've got to remember the long title of Jared's. All the Devils Are Here. Granite State Punk. Pick up all these books. Order them. Really recommend Scout Comics is a great company. We're all working for them, and we're hoping that you guys can help us get more deals and more Scout books coming out each and every month.
Yep. And so you should definitely order my book, because if you don't, I'm going to keep making books anyway, probably to spite you. So that's my message.
Well, I'll read them to spite you.
Well, I think it's going to backfire.
This war is getting deep. So I've actually loved Michael. You going, I just read this, I just read that. That's great. That's super awesome. And I'm working with your vampire detective guy on a secret project that he's also waiting for my script.
Dave Swartz?
Yeah. You
doing a project with Dave Swartz?
Yeah, you remember you asked me what's going on, and I said, yep, I'm doing a secret project. There's a secret project coming in September. It is going to blow up Kickstarter. I promise you.
If you got Dave Swartz, it's going to be your best performing book of all time. So
I hope so.
That's awesome, man. That's great. Yeah. I knew he was. I knew he was going to work. He hadn't told me who he was working with because I know I told him, I'd love to employ you infinitely for all time and just constantly give you work. I was like, but I got to take a break, and I'm glad that he found a good collaborator. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's just a one shot, but it's a very cool one shot. And though I say just a one shot,
I mean, wasn't Granite State Punk originally just a one shot?
yes, but this is even bigger than that. So,
okay.
Though it is a one shot, it's not just a one shot.
How long is it?
It's just a normal size issue.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But
it's just
it will blow up Kickstarter. And I know you're like, why is a one issue doing a Kickstarter? Let's just say that the thing that I'm doing, there may be other creators doing something similar and possibly the same universe, all coming out at the same time.
Oh, you're doing a big collaboration thing with a bunch of different people.
We'll see.
Okay. That's exciting, man. That's
how we do it and why is going to be wild.
I mean, I love people trying new things, so that's exciting.
Yeah. So, but it's going to be wild, and I apologize in advance if you get mad at me if you're running a Kickstarter that month.
What month are we talking about?
September.
Oh man. All right. Let's see. I think I'll be on my 12th Kickstarter by then.
All right. Again, thank you guys for coming out. It's been a great time. Check out Scout Comics. Order all the books. We really need the pre-orders to get up. Please order pre-orders. Let your comic store know, because it's hard to get these books after the fact. They only do a limited print run. So it's based on that order. So what happens is, if you don't know the way comics work, Diamond's going to say, let's just choose a number 500 copies, which hopefully more than that, but this is going to say 500. They're going to then order 600 copies to make sure they have some extras. And then Scout's going to order probably an extra 100 to make sure they have extras. But that's it. Like the lower that print run is, the less in circulation. So if it picks up later, it's going to be hard to get it, especially with stuff like Miracle Kingdom, which is a series. Like that's very important to get that number one, to make sure that someone who finds it on number 3 can get that number 1. Caleb's going to go straight to the trade, so that's less of a problem. Mine is a one shot, so it's what it is. But especially when we talk about these series like Kilchella and By the Horns, these things are very important. It's pre-order. So, all right. Good night, guys. Oh, you guys want to say where to reach you? Sorry.
Go ahead, Michael.
Sure. So I am on Twitter at miracle_kingdom. That's kingdom spelled with a 0, not an O. And I'm on Instagram, much easier, at miracle_kingdom_comic. And thank you, Travis, for inviting me on and having the opportunity to hang out with a bunch of pros and the Scout crew. It's great.
Yeah, you're a pro. As of March, whatever date yours is coming out, you're a pro.
Yeah, it's official. Yeah,
it's official, right? As soon as it's in your hand. Or do you have some in your hand?
No.
Okay. Caleb?
Oh, me. I am. God, where can you find me? I'm really bad at social media. What you can do is you can go to. Let me make sure this actually works. CalebPalmquist.com. I think that'll take you there. If you go to CalebPalmquist.com and then you click on, there's a link right on the front page. You can find out information about all my stuff, but there's a link that says sign up for my email list. And I know that people hate email lists, but listen, here's the thing about my email list. You can get so much free crap. I have there's so many free things that I offer just to my email list people. I do what I call my secret menu rewards, which I'm like really proud of, is this program that I've been running for a couple of years now. And basically a few times a year, I ask people on my email list to do something. Like it might be look at my the preview link for my comic book for my Kickstarter and just give me feedback, like honest feedback. It's not, no one else is going to see it. Like I need your help. Or it could be like, I have a survey of that I do every once in a while where it's like, if I did this reward or this reward on a Kickstarter, how interested would you be in it? Like do that survey. And if you do that and then you back my Kickstarter, you get free stuff. And I'm very proud of that. And it's stuff that no one else gets, like vinyl stickers and bookmarks and all sorts of stuff. And so if you go to my email list, if you sign up for my email list, not only do you get all the information about what's coming out next, either through direct market, like through Scout or Kickstarter or whatever, you also get free stuff that other people aren't going to get. And so if people ask me how can I follow you? I mean, you can follow me on Twitter, but I tweet about once a year and it's not helpful. You can follow me on Instagram, but it's like pictures of of me and like my dog. Or, you can find me on Facebook, but none of that stuff is going to be as helpful as just following the newsletter, because I know the people who are there because they want to know about my next books, and that's what I tell them. So that was a long-winded way of saying go to calebholmquist.com and click the link so that I can invade your mailbox.
It's great for process junkies. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do. Thank you. I do. I appreciate that, Phil. I do behind the scenes stuff. I tell people about my lazy writing and how I convince artists to work with me and stuff like that.
This is about a unicorn who kills vampires. Just make that happen, and within 24 pages, and I'll write some dialogue bubbles.
I'll tell you that probably Dave Swartz is probably going to be relieved to be working with you, because you probably have professional scripts, I assume. In issue 2 of Vampire Detective in Space, there's like a 3 or 4 page fight between the main character and some vampires, and I was like, he fights these guys, and in the end he kills them all except one guy, so make that look cool. And that's like straight up what I wrote, and he made it look really cool. And it wasn't because of me, it was because Dave Swartz is just a very talented artist who deals with my bullshit.
Well, I actually do that sometimes in script. That doesn't sound unprofessional, because I do that periodically. It's just a give back because of the times earlier in the script when I'm kind of like, I want it this way. So I always try to give a couple of pages which are like, hey guys, have fun.
Well, they know better. The artist knows better than me. Every artist I hire, I hire talented artists, and
right.
They know better than I do how to do page layouts and how the space works. So,
nice.
Anyway.
All right. Well, I can be found. You can follow me here on YouTube at Travis Gibb, or you can follow Comic Book Level Up. We do every other Monday. We just had John Lees on, so if you want to learn about John Lees, his whole career, how he does comics, next one's Rich Woodall, so we do a really cool show on there. For somebody who doesn't want to do podcasts, I tend to do a couple of them, which is weird. But best place to find me is travisgibb.substack. We also have a Discord that you can come hang out with us, talk with us, hang out with other creators, do a lot of cool stuff. And I'm on the internet. Unlike Caleb, I actually post all the time. I haven't actually posted a single picture of my dog, probably should.
I mean, I bet you have a cute dog.
I do have a cute dog. It's John Ralphio, based off of Parks and Rec. He is a miniature schnauzer. He's a cute dog.
Okay.
Right, guys, highly recommend. But good night, guys. We're gonna sign off.
Bye-bye.
Where's my video? Right here.